Hi, my name's Martin, and I'd like to talk about something that happened in late 2023. Um, you, some of you guys might be surprised to see me. I'm 19 now. I'm doing better than I've ever been in my whole life, and I'm proud of where I've gotten to right now, but that's not the point right now. In 2023, I faked my death. It's completely unforgivable. I lost all my online friends to that, and with good reason, obviously. Um, I'm in BPD recovery now, also recovering from some other things that aren't relevant. But, yeah, basically, since 2020, I met with this other YouTuber. I'll keep his name private, but he had a community. And when I tell you that this community was so effed up, they would go after me every time he would say something, or he would bully me, or he would, and I would block him. I would block him every single time. But every single time I blocked him, he would get three more people to add me on my account just to call me the F slur or to call me the T slur before I even came out. Or I was Muslim at the time because that's how I grew up, Muslim and Jewish. They didn't like that, and they would call me names, they would call me slurs, and they would call me things that were very inappropriate, not mature at all. And recently, they've tried reaching out again. Um, I deleted all of my social media except for YouTube because I have a lot of my old videos on here. You know, a lot of them are privated, so you're never going to see them. But it's kind of like not a memorial, but like I look back at them and be like, oh, hey, I was a kid, you know, doing dumb shit. I don't know if I can swear on here because of YouTube, but yeah. Every time I would try to get someone involved with this, they would just be very dismissive over it, and they weren't listening to me, and I dealt with that for 3 whole effing years, just blocking this guy and then letting him come back to me because I thought he changed, or giving him a chance because he said he would stop being an ASS hole towards me. And I didn't know what to do at that point. You know, this was pre-recovery. You know, I've had BPD since my childhood, and I wasn't in recovery until I turned 17. I want to say 17, 18. And I guess I didn't know how to manage it. I was tired of it. I was dealing with a abuse from my parents, and I couldn't handle it anymore. You know, I was in foster care for, I think, a few months when I attempted. And I called up all my friends and told them what was going to happen. I went to that park. I tied the rope. I called my cousin. I told him that I loved him platonically. And I was very aware of everything that was happening, yet I was so just too emotionally aroused to, you know, bring myself to the hospital or call a crisis line. I couldn't do that because I was just so effing tired of everything that this fascist group was putting onto me for the last 3 years, not to mention other stuff that was happening. You put all those vulnerability factors together, obviously something is going to happen. And I made a mistake. I was just so sick. I was scared. I was terrified of them finding me again. So I told all my friends, I texted them under the alias Grayson, you know, pretending to be one of my cousins who doesn't exist. And I told them all that I died, that I unalived myself successfully. And that is where I effed up. That is not okay under any circumstances. Do not do that to any other borderline out there pre-recovery who either wants attention or is doing it because they don't have that consciousness. Don't do it. Just don't. And that's where I made my mistake, you know, just losing everyone I ever cared about over these stupid, bigoted people who couldn't give a crap about me. And they're still out there. They're still, that community is still on my YouTube page saying, hey, what's up? I have to block every single account, and it's been, I think, around 20, 25 by now. I've had to block every single account just to tell them, not even tell them, just to get them off my page, because I don't want anything to do with them anymore. You know, at one point, I even, before, you know, all this, I consulted the police and I told them, hey, this is happening. They're in a different country. They're from America. I don't know if this is going to change anything, but they have been bothering me for years. The police basically told me to deal with it myself and just keep blocking the comments. But the things that they would tell me were heinous, heinous things. Things I would never wish for someone else to hear. And it's just so effed up. This whole situation I'm still upset about. And I'm at 6 minutes 45 seconds already. And I'm still struggling to this day with the trauma, knowing that they're still out to get me. And they still have this ideology that I'm lower than them. Which, in a way, I guess is kind of true when you look at it politically. You know, I'm part of different marginalized communities. I'm a person of color. I'm queer. I'm gender non-conforming, gender fluid. I use different pronouns than the, you know, different pronouns than people would expect of me. I look very androgynous. I'm disabled, autism. And it's just, they would just keep saying these heinous things, and I couldn't get over that. I didn't have the things that I have today to cope with what happened in 2023. So to all my online friends that I lost to that incident, I want to say that I'm extremely, extremely sorry that I put you through that stress. I'm sorry that everything that happened had to happen because I couldn't deal with what I was dealing with properly. And looking back at the situation and things I would have done differently, I would have just been honest and be like, hey, I survived this sewer slide attempt. Give me a week. I'm going to the hospital to figure this stuff out. I should have just done that, but what made sense at the time in my very borderline brain, pre-recovery borderline brain, was to fake my death. And that's something that I will never forgive myself for, especially with the hurt that I brought onto other people. And because the people who were harassing me for those 4 years are probably watching. I don't know what to say to you. You've ruined my life for those 3 years and what came after. Because I'm having trouble, you know, holding on to friendships. And I don't know what to do with my life because I'm so scared that this will come up at one point in a job interview, or someone will ask about, like, oh, what happened to all your online friends? Them. So I'm taking responsibility for some things, 100%. But what I'm not taking responsibility for is the actions of that fascist group, that fascist community who I let hurt me for so long. That is all I have to say. If you're a friend of mine, once again, I'm very sorry for what I did. I'm not expecting forgiveness at all. I just want you guys to know that I'm very, very sorry. And this past 2 years, year and a half to 2 years, I've been working on myself. And I haven't made a full recovery because when you look at BPD, it's unfortunately, a lifelong battle, but I'm able to take care of myself better now. And I couldn't say that a few years ago when you guys knew me. So I'm proud of myself, but also just it's been bothering me for years, and I've tried to make a video about it many times. I've tried to make this video at least 5 times, and I just can't handle I couldn't handle the stress at the time, but now that I'm in a recovery, I'm able to present the situation to people now. Sorry about the cut. I had to switch rooms. But what I'm trying to say is I just I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. And it hasn't been easy, but I've been forgiving myself slowly day by day. And if we were friends and you choose to contact me, I would really appreciate it. And I appreciate you hearing me out, watching this video. And if you choose to not contact me, forget that I exist and never want to see my face again, that's also understandable. Completely understandable. There's no hard feelings. Um, Thank you if you're still here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.